We feel you, Captain Jack. That was our exact reaction when we found out there are actually multiple versions of almost every Disney movie. While a lot of the time movies are able to just dub over their actors' voices in a different language and call it a day, things sometimes get lost in translation. And other times, cultures are just so different that jokes and animations can just be downright confusing. We dug up some of the most shocking changes that have been made to your favorite Disney films. Let's get into it.
I can't find it. It doesn't seem to be on any of these stations.
To fans across North America, Moana is the name of one of Disney's newest princesses, the unconventional water goddess that had everyone searching for where the line meets the sea for months.
I am Moana,
Hero of men.
What?
However, to Europe, the name Moana failed to make the cut in multiple countries. The Polynesian princess actually shares a name with an adult film star. Yep, you heard us. So understandably, Disney's Italian team was a bit worried that people would associate the princess with the adult star's work and prevent their kids from watching the film. So Moana was changed to Vaiana in France.
Disney's Vaiana.
And Oceana in Italy. Her name was also changed for her appearance in the Wreck-It Ralph film as well. We may never watch Moana the same way again. How could anyone ever forget the film that truly introduced us to Lindsay Lohan? While she may be a touch more problematic in today's industry, her childhood years were spent giving us iconic movies like Disney's The Parent Trap.
So remember, you're going to find out how Mom and Dad met, and you're going to find out why they broke up.
And while in America that's the film she's known for, we would bet all our money that someone in Germany would have no clue what The Parent Trap is. Instead, they renamed the film to A Twin Rarely Comes Alone. We'll admit that the alternate title really does kind of sum up the movie in an odd way, but is it just us, or does that title sound eerily like a horror film? Finding Dory wasn't exactly the sequel to Finding Nemo we were all expecting, but nonetheless, it was everything. Pixar and Disney creators knew that after a 13-year gap, they needed to make the film extra special.
My family! I remember my family! They're out there somewhere. Have to find them.
To do that, they made the movie unique to different countries across the world. When Dory sets out on her adventure to find her parents and ends up in the Marine Life Institute, she's guided by a disembodied voice from the Marine Life Institute's PA system.
Welcome to the open ocean.
This character was actually voiced by a different actor depending on the country. In English-speaking countries, audiences would have heard Sigourney Weaver. In France, news anchor Claire Chazelle. And in Mexico, astronaut Rodolfo Neri Vela. Cool. If you're a hardcore Marvel and Disney fan, you no doubt know the Iron Man 3 films by heart. But what if we told you that there's a version of the film that is wildly different?
You experience things, and then they're over and you still can't explain them?
However, this unique version was only released in China. In the country, the local Chinese studio, DMG Entertainment, teamed up with Marvel Studios to ensure that the film would be culturally appropriate for their audience. The runtime of the movie included a more in-depth focus on Asian actors like Dr. Wu and his nurse. They even held a pretty obvious advertisement for the Chinese milk brand Guli Duo. Don't worry, you didn't miss out on much. The scenes really had no impact on the film's story arc. Speaking of Marvel, The Avengers has been sweeping Hollywood and the entire blockbuster scene for at least a decade now. However, you might be shocked to know that the films aren't called The Avengers in every country.
Who are you? We're the Avengers, man.
The UK actually decided to use their phrase Avengers Assemble as their official title instead, and their reason for doing it actually makes a lot of sense. There was a British TV show called The Avengers back in the 1960s. It followed a secret agent duo. James Bond, is that you? The UK distributors decided it was best to change the name of the franchise so people wouldn't confuse the two stories. We're not gonna lie, Avengers Assemble sounds pretty iconic. Which name do you prefer? This next Disney film didn't have anything in the actual runtime altered for an international release, but the official poster got a remake in another country that makes absolutely no sense. The Hungarian artist Tibor Heleni was tasked with making the poster for a Star Wars film in Hungary. He filled the poster with images of creatures and robots that never appeared in the film. When questioned about it, he said he was allowed to watch the movie before drawing the poster, but decided to add in characters for his own amusement. Inside Out took some pretty complicated topics and made it fun and entertaining for not just kids but adults too. like its concepts, they kept everything simple, including the title. However, Inside Out's title across the globe got makeovers that were anything but simple. In fact, a lot of them make absolutely no sense.
It's probably not important.
Whoa.
China went for the great team inside the head. Very straightforward of them. Russia went with the very puzzling title, Jigsaw, and Vietnam decided to keep with those puzzle vibes and went with the puzzle emotions. But Thailand takes the cake when it comes to complication levels. They named it Fantastical Emotional Turmoil. Safe to say, if you're ever in need of a good laugh, you should definitely come back to these. Zootopia. Americans know it as a family movie that follows a futuristic city filled with all of our favorite talking animals and critters. But not every country was fond of the name.
Okay, hold on, keep watching. Who's that beside her?
In the UK, the film is actually known as Zootropolis. No one has ever really been given a reason as to why the title was changed. A rep for Disney was basically like Zootropolis sounds better and works better for a UK audience. Soccer, hockey, soccer. Tomato, tomato. Am I right? Well, for people that aren't a fan of sports, maybe. But Disney takes these things super seriously. In the Pixar film Inside Out, we get a glimpse into Riley's dad's daydreams. If you're in America like us, you probably would have experienced his daydream being about hockey.
The lake freezes over, and that's when we play hockey. I'm on a great team. We're called the Prairie Dogs.
However, if you're overseas, you might be a tad confused right now. In the European and other international releases, Riley's father was actually daydreaming about soccer. This is because outside of North America, hockey isn't really a huge deal. Shh, don't tell Dad. Soccer was just way more culturally appropriate for the rest of the world. Speaking of Inside Out, that wasn't all they changed to appease international audiences. In the scene where Riley's baby sister is resisting eating her veggies.
This looks new.
Think it's safe?
What is it?
Who would have thought that refusing broccoli could actually be offensive? Spoiler alert, it is. In Asian countries, broccoli is almost considered a delicacy when it comes to veggies. So for Disney's international releases in Asian countries, the broccoli was swapped for green beans. I mean, equally as gross, right? Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End was one of 2007's biggest films, and that wasn't just in America. Who doesn't want to see Jack Sparrow prancing around his ship drinking rum? But what you probably don't know is that Disney dealt with a heck of a lot of censorship problems when it came to the film's release in China. You might remember notorious pirate captain Captain Cao Feng. His role was actually pretty important to literally the entire plot.
You confirm it.
Unfortunately, his 20 minutes of screen time were cut in half. Sadly, this is because people believed that having a Chinese villain would shed a negative light on Chinese people in general. Some people might find this next, modification kind of hilarious. America might be one of the world's global superpowers, but Disney certainly knocked them down off their high horse when they released Toy Story 2 around the world. When our pal Woody goes missing and the other toys band together in order to come up with a rescue plan, Buzz puts on his brave face and gives a life-changing speech to his friends.
We have a friend in need.
In the American movie, the background behind him is the American flag. If you're not in America, you most likely saw a montage of flags from across the globe. Who else wasn't expecting Monsters University when Pixar announced a Monster Inc. sequel? We all thought we'd be getting more of Boo, her door, and what exactly she's up to in the 2000s. But instead, we got Mike and Sully in University. Don't get us wrong, it was epic, but what's even more epic is how they changed the film to fit the fan experience outside of America. When Sully and Mike and their newfound friends are first introduced to the Scare Games, the university has a banner up for decoration that literally says Scare Games.
We're not gonna lose, because we have everything we need to win right here.
You've probably figured out by now that non-English speaking audiences wouldn't be able to read the banner. Outside of English speaking countries, the banner was full of university symbols instead of words. So that would work universally. Mighty Ducks, a true Disney classic and a movie that will forever go down in history. But in Australia, it might be going down in history with quite a different name.
Now we're the Ducks. Yeah. And the Ducks are undefeated.
Hooray!
The 1992 movie was released as Champions in Australia for absolutely no reason. But that wasn't the end of the name changing for Australia. If you own the VHS, we bet it says the Mighty Ducks are the champions. Doesn't matter if your favorite character was Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Violet, or Dash, no villain had as much style in The Incredibles as Bon Voyage.
Bon voyage. C'est incroyable!
I mean, a mime villain? Epic. But while we all might laugh at his name being a play of words on the French phrase bon voyage, the joke just doesn't hit the same in French. That's why in the French release of the film, the character was named Folamour instead. It translates into strange love. What do you think? Unique or just plain odd? The name of the film was also altered in the French version to Les Indestructibles, which in English means the Indestructibles. What was the most shocking reveal for you? Have you spotted any other changes in international versions of your fave movies? Let us know what you think of all this in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. Over and out.